CBDT Chief, if I could come to you on the direct tax code, which the Finance Minister has promised will be presented in Parliament in a week's time, sir. And I think, the FS gave us an indication that it's going to be half the number of words, half the number of chapters, and hopefully half the pain that that industry has dealt with as well. So if you can take us through, in the last 6 months to be able to put this together, what it's actually taken the department to do, what has been the focus area, what you've prioritized, and what we should expect.
Well, yes, we did this comprehensive exercise of comprehensive review of the Tax Act as per the announcement which was made by the Honorable Finance Minister in July 24. And yes, it was a very involved exercise where we actually involved more than 150 officers of the department who worked on different themes and different chapters. The basic idea was to make the language simpler, to cut redundancies which had crept in over a period of time. It is about, this act is 1961 Act. We are in 2025, so more about 64 years. So, some provisions had become obsolete also. So we identified those provisions, identified the gaps that had also crept in, redundancies and duplications were taken out. And as a result of this entire exercise in this 6 months, the act has been now, the proposed act would be about half. I would not say exactly half, but it will be about half. It will be about half because we have to take care of different situations, you see. The shift in approach is that, we have taken some provisions which were elaborated in the base act to the rules also. And also we took inspiration from the similar exercise which was done in other sovereigns. For example, UK, Australia, simplification exercise was done in those sovereigns also. They took substantial time, but we got some lessons from that exercise that was done. And going ahead, the approach is that how can we provide more clarity to the taxpayer, because that is very important to minimize litigation and to minimize that scope for multiple interpretations. Of course, when the language gets changed, the possibility of fresh set of interpretations also happens.
Yes.
But what we are actually looking at is coming up with the guidance notes also, and comprehensive answers to possible questions that may emerge, and for the taxpayers' benefit, so that that clarity is there, that when this existing language and the new language, how much of it is in sync and is in harmony.
On litigations, in fact, just this morning, or I think yesterday, the headlines on Volkswagen moving courts against a $1.4 billion tax notice. Between both direct taxes as well as indirect taxes, what are we talking about in terms of disputes at this point in time, and the process of trying to resolve disputes? How much is stuck at this point? So if I can start by asking you, and then I'll come to Mr. Agarwal.
Under national litigation policy, the limits have been announced on custom side also, so that we can bring down the litigation at least from the government side. But from the trade side, they are free to litigate the matter as much as they want. The second thing which has been done in this budget, a time limit has been set for finalization of provisional assessment. That will be providing lot of certainty to the trade and will reduce the litigation. If you see, you mentioned about the Skoda case, Volkswagen case. I will not be going into the merit of the case because the matter is sub judice before the High Court. But I can say one thing, that earlier there was no time limit of finalization of provisional assessment. In that case, the provisional assessment remained pending for a very long time. Therefore, the demand is for a very longish period. So those kind of situations will not arise in future. So that again is a very significant step. The third thing I would like to mention is that to reduce the litigation or the procedural thing, in this budget a provision has been brought to declare on voluntary basis if certain material facts have come to the notice of importer post the clearance from the customs charge. So there, if it comes to their notice, then they can file a declaration. And in case some duty has been short paid, they can make the payment of duty along with interest without penalty. But this will not apply in case audit or investigation has already been initiated. Similarly, in case they have they have paid the duty in excess and they have to claim the refund, presently they have to go and file an appeal against their own self-assessed bill of entry. The appeal will take some time to decide. Then once they get a favorable appellate order, they will have to come back again to the department, seek an amendment in their bill of entry, self-assessed bill of entry, and then file a refund claim. This entire thing has now been short-circuited. Now they can file a declaration post-clearance. In case excess duty is paid, that itself will be treated as a refund claim. So this will also reduce lot of litigation which is arising because this facility was not available.
What is our approach likely to be now in light of the many global developments that have taken place on cryptocurrencies? Any change in stance, any change in thinking at this point in time, sir?
Cryptocurrency, as we are aware, we have done a discussion paper, including at the senior level participation from the Reserve Bank of India, and the committee had finalized the discussion paper. But thereafter we find that when it was about to be issued, that several jurisdictions, and you named one, but more than one jurisdictions have changed their position on crypto assets in terms of their scope, where they see the utility, including for settlement, multilateral settlement of payments, cross-border payments. So there's one side, they're saying that much stronger use of crypto assets as a stable coin, which will have a large implications for an emerging economy like ours. The second one, using it as a multilateral settlement mechanism, which will again has a very major implications that how the global systems are organized. So in that context, we are recalibrating the paper, because the purpose of that paper is to pose the right questions to the stakeholders so that we get the right answers in terms of an appropriate answer to inform our policy making.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Economic Affairs Secretary, the DFS Secretary, the CBIC Chairman and the CBDT Chairman. We truly appreciate you joining us here.